Hello, this is Tiffany from Mellow Vibes, and I am filming today with my new computer that I'm so excited about. And I haven't used this on like video camera yet, so excited. And I hope you are all well. So maybe you've seen other people or you've seen me talk about hypnotherapy and limiting beliefs, and you're just like, I don't get what hypnotherapy does. What is a limiting belief? So we're going to talk about that today. So what is hypnotherapy good for? Well, hypnotherapy is good for a lot of things, like getting rid of habits and getting over certain limiting beliefs. And honestly, hypnotherapy targets a specific thing. Usually, when you're working with someone on hypnosis, you're looking at one thing at a time. So, in terms of a habit, like say smoking, a lot of people want to use hypnotherapy to stop smoking. It's finding the intent behind why you smoke. Everything you do has some positive intent to why you're doing it. Maybe you don't think about it, but there's a positive intent. So, what is the positive intent behind you smoking? Finding that and then being able to replace it with something else that gives you that same level of satisfaction, whatever it's satisfying. And going through things like that, there's usually always underlying issues for why, you have a certain habit. And yeah, it's not usually people don't love to smoke. Not the people I've encountered anyway, and they want to stop. But it's usually like this one client I had said it was the one time she allowed herself a break, because you're allowed smoking breaks. You go to a job and they allow you a smoking break, and that was her one time where she could just have time for herself, and that is why she smoked. So in terms of a habit, that's how we work through that with hypnotherapy, and finding the intent behind that, and then replacing it with something else. And we can do that several, that's through a conversation, but there's also, like getting someone into obviously a hypnotic trance, and, inducing them into that state. And there are different kinds of hypnotic trances that you'd go into. It depends on the person, what they would be more receptive to, depending on, how they perceive things in their mind. Are you more of a visual person? Are you more of an auditory person? Are you more of, a digital thinking person? Are you a mixture of them? Are you, there's certain senses people use, and you can tell by what is maybe more prevalent for them in the way they speak. Just in, like, if you said, oh yeah, like I totally hear you on that. Like, maybe that means they're more auditory, or like, I see your point. Maybe that means they're more of a visual person. So depending on where you are, and we can kind of gauge that in conversation. But there's also like tests on determining what kind of perception that you use the most. And so that is, the intent behind therapy when it comes to like, trying to maybe dismantle a habit or something. So limiting beliefs, if you ask yourself what a limiting belief is, it is a belief that limits you, right? So it's a belief that it's not usually something that you came up with. It's usually maybe something that maybe was passed down to you from your parents, or passed down to you, you've heard on, through constant programming, through, various ways. So limiting belief could be, well, my limiting belief was that I couldn't live my life off of the things that I love to do. I think a lot of people have that limiting belief, and it's not true. And it's like, well, where do we get that from? And then there's a reason to why you're programmed a certain way in society. So like, that's a limiting belief. It's like a lot of people walk around like, this is not possible for you to be able to do these things. You can do that on the side, but you have to have a real job. Like, that's a limiting belief. And then, so something like that, or a belief like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not good enough for this person or something like that, or I'm not smart enough to get this type of role. And it's like, well, where does that I'm not smart enough come from? And it's going through certain like hypnotic techniques to uncover like, well, where did that start? Is that your belief? Is that someone else's belief? Is it true, or is it opinion? Is it this, or is it that? And then going back to like a feeling, how do you feel when you get that feeling like you're not smart enough? I feel this, or I feel that. Okay, well, when did you feel that way before? When did you feel that way before? And then like working your way through, like, when was the first time that you actually felt like that, and what was happening then? And it's always stuff that, it's just stuff that's like really just programmed and ingrained in you, and you don't realize it. It's your subconscious, right? But the thing is, the way we operate in real life is 90% from our subconscious. It's 90% stuff that we don't even think about. It might be more than 90, but I think it's 90. But it's stuff that you don't think about. The way you do stuff is things that you literally don't think about. It's just automatic because you were programmed for a long period of time on this particular thing. And so in hypnotherapy, we can work our way back and, unprogram. That's, the thing we want to unprogram so then we can reprogram for healthy beliefs, not walking around with limiting beliefs that you didn't even come up with. It's like, how about you make, you have your own beliefs ingrained in you. And it's a process to reprogram yourself. It's a process to deprogram, and then it's a process to actually program to the program that you want. Why operate on someone else's program? Why operate on what other people have told you? Why not make your own decisions about how you want to live your life? And that's what hypnotherapy helps you with. And that's what a limiting belief is. So hopefully this answers all of your questions on that. And let me know in the comments what you think about that. If you have any questions, again, you can put it in the comments. You can email me. Let me know. Give me a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and share if that resonates with you. And I will see you later. Peace and mellow vibes.